I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here as we get set for qualifying in preparation for our 35th race of the season, playoff race number 9, the final elimination race before we determine our final four to compete for the championship. We are here this weekend at the historical North Carolina Speedway, more lovingly known as Rockingham. 15 minutes on the clock for these drivers here in this first round of qualifying. 42 drivers this weekend. All will qualify into the show. As Charles Sanford in the 03, the defending champion, going out. He is the first one out on the racetrack here. Coming off the heels of Daytona last week, where we saw Mitchell Collins go to victory lane, we still do not yet have any of our Elite 8 locked into the Final Four, as we've had non-playoff drivers win the last two races here of this round of 8. RJ Bishop back at Boston, Collins at Daytona. So we know that at least 7 drivers are going to point their way into the Final Four. We may end up having a playoff contender go to victory lane tomorrow, but we'll have to wait and see. Charles Sanford has clocked in at a 7.65, setting the benchmark for the drivers here. Top 10 from this first round will move on to run for the pole position, with there only being 42 cars scheduled to run tomorrow. We don't have to have the two separate groups here this week. Well, Boston was definitely a racetrack where it was questionable whether or not you needed good starting track position. Daytona, not as much. Daytona was a track that we saw a lot of drivers that started towards the rear of the field, made their way up towards the front within 10-15 laps. Here at Rockingham, you would kind of think that this is a racetrack where you definitely want to have good starting track position to run up front all day long. However, if we go back and we look at 3 of the last 4 races we've run here, Season 3, Charles Belding took the checkered flag here after rolling off the grid from 3rd. But then Season 4, it was Keith Batson who started 22nd and worked his way up to take the checkered flag. And last year, Season 6, Kyle Matthews ended up winning the race starting from the 35th position. So may not necessarily be all about starting track position tomorrow afternoon. Reese Banks second in the playoff standings, after he was the highest finishing playoff contender last week at Daytona. 18th place is where he ended up finishing, so that gives you an idea of really what our Elite 8 had to deal with last weekend. He has a total of 6 points right now ahead of the 4th in the standings cut line, looking to advance his way into the Final Four. He is the only driver that advanced into the round of 8 without taking a checkered flag, and looking to maybe see if he can win the championship without winning a single race this season. Right now he is 18th on the board. Jesse Turner, his teammate, comes into this race 6 points below the cut line, 5th in overall playoff standings. was the second best finishing playoff contender last week, but due to the fact that he finished pretty much in the same vicinity as drivers like Matthew Rodriguez and Zach Rogers and Dylan Poteet, that he was near in the point standings going into that race, he didn't gain nor did he really lose any ground. But unfortunately, he still is below the cut line coming into this weekend. He's 27th on the board right now. Dylan Poteet, he's the cut line driver coming into this weekend. 4th in overall points, 6 points as mentioned ahead of Jesse Turner. Only 2 points behind Matthew Rodriguez for 3rd in overall points. You got a few other of the playoff contenders right around him here. Zach Rogers moved up a couple of spots in points last week from 8th up to 6th. But even though he gained some positions in the standings, he is still a total of 23 points below the cut line. After he finished a lap down last week at Daytona, did not finish well at Boston the week before. There are 3 drivers that come into this race pretty much in a must-win situation, and this would be another of them, the 78 of Ryan Butcher, who last week, really, through no fault of his own, is now in the 8th seed, dropped 2 spots in standings because of an engine failure on the pace lap to start the race. Field was coming off of turn 2, it just merged onto the racetrack, and smoke billowed from underneath his Toyota Camry. He never even got to take the green, finished 42nd, and subsequently he comes into this race 30 points below the cut line, so he is pretty much in a must-win situation to advance into the Final Four this weekend at Rockingham. Right now, Zach Rogers 18th on the board. Dylan Poteet is currently 19th, and Ryan Butcher is 31st. There was last week's winner from Daytona, Mitchell Collins, getting his first win on the year. Right now, though, 40th on the speed charts for our defending winner from Daytona. Trying to find the rest of our playoff contenders here. There's Casey Hoyt. Casey Hoyt finished a lap down last week at Daytona. The good news for him, though, was he had a great run at Boston and finished pretty much in close vicinity to a lot of his playoff contenders, so he didn't lose a whole lot of ground. He's still the points leader of the playoff standings coming into this one, 12 points ahead of the cut line. So he just needs a decent, maybe top 10, top 15 out, and he should advance into the Final Four. But this is Rockingham. Nothing is a given. Casey Hoyt, of course, as well, the last 2 weeks here during this round of 8 has started on the front row, had the pole at Boston, outside the front row at Daytona. He's 12th on the board right now, looking to advance into the Fast 10 for the 3rd straight week. Well, I mentioned 3 drivers coming into this race in a must-win situation. Jessica Shelton would be that 3rd driver. Shelton involved in a wreck last week when she was running solidly up inside the top 10. That DNF put her to 7th in overall playoff points coming to this one, 25 points below the cut line. Right now she is 20th on the speed charts in that Project Dodge Intrepid. Matthew Rodriguez in the 24 car, 3-time winner on the season, the Daytona 500 winner, 16th right now on the charts. He is 3rd in points coming into this week, only 2 points above the cut line. So a bit of a precarious situation for Reese Banks, Matthew Rodriguez, Dylan Poteet, because if Roger Shelton and Ryan Butcher go to victory lane tomorrow, that moves the cut line up, and also Jesse Turner is within striking distance of really all 3 of those drivers to advance his way up into the Final Four, depending on how it goes tomorrow afternoon. Top of the board right now is the non-charter driver Reggie Fogelman at a 24.124. Reggie Fogelman, ever since moving over to the non-charter entry at Haas Racing, getting prepared for his full-time ride with the organization in Season 8, has managed to make every single start, has qualified his way in on time. He and Kyler Sustre, the 2 non-charter drivers here this weekend, know that they would be locked in the show with no other non-charter drivers showing up, and Fogelman making the most of it here. Cody Lamas is right now 2nd, with Jose Mills in 3rd. Carson Gum fourth. Destin Bolin right now completing the top 5. Zachary Fitzwater is currently in 6th. There's Kyle Matthews, who is right now 7th. Defending winner of this race from 1 season ago. 8th place is Rob Evans. Nick Gunther in 10th. 9th place is the only playoff contender right now inside of the top 10, and that would be Jessica Shelton in the 94. .216 right now for Jessica Shelton. 3 thousandths better than Gunther, who is currently on the hot seat on the cut line of 10th on the speed charts. The rest of your playoff contenders right now, Casey Hoyt is 16th fastest, Matthew Rodriguez 20th, Zach Rogers 22nd, Dylan Poteet is 26th, Reese Banks 35th, Ryan Butcher 36th, and Jesse Turner right now the slowest of the Elite 8, back in the 38th position. We talked about last week, we saw some good showings out of the Michael Norman Motorsports cars, both in qualifying and in race. Well, 2 of them right now are the slowest in Rockingham. Matt McIntyre 41st and Mitchell Collins in 42nd. A lot of drivers on pit road getting some adjustments made here with about 4.5 minutes remaining. I mean, Mitchell Collins, P1 last week, right now dead last on the charts at a 24.4 or 0.546, I should say. That is 2/100 slower than his teammate Matt McIntyre. Benjamin Miles pulling in there. Destin Bolin I see on pit road. Will Goss on pit lane. A lot of drivers coming down, trying to maybe take on an extra set of tires here. Improve their lap times. Looking at Jose Mills, most winners driver in the Duracell Cup Series. Looks like he's coming to pit lane this time. 3rd on the board at a 24.158. 2-time winner Levi McIntyre swings around the outside of him. 13th on the board right now for the Handicaps Hot Fries Ford Mustang. Carson Gum got the pole last week at Daytona. Right now 4th on the board with a chance of advancing into the Fast 10 for the 2nd straight week. 24.183 for him, making his way around Ryan Butcher, who still sits at 36th fastest. But again, you know, you look at a lot of those drivers that are down on the list right now. Ooh, Dollerton in the 83 just got the wall off of turn 2, right in front of Keith Batson. But, you know, Banks, Butcher, Turner, all down there outside the top 30 in points. Remember, as mentioned, last season, Kyle Matthews won this race from 35th position, so it can be done. Keith Batson, former playoff contender, right now is 9th in the overall playoff points, the highest running of the 4 drivers that were eliminated at the end of the round of 12 going into the round of 8. Whoa, we got a car around here. Is that into turn 3? That's Carson Gum. Not sure what just happened with him, but he's now teleported back to pit road, and I think we just found the culprit of who he was involved with. Matthew Rodriguez and the Flat Out Racing Network Chevrolet. Got some pretty good front-end damage. Looks like he missed the pit road entry. I'm wondering if maybe somebody tried coming to pit road, might have crossed over somebody else, and they might have made some contact. Well, good news, as we've documented all season long, you're involved in a wreck here, but you're still up in the top 10 in the speed charts. They do allow you to still participate to run for the pole. So Carson Gum, despite the fact that he had to teleport to pit road there, looks like he will still be running for the pole position. Matthew Rodriguez 22nd on the board. Nowhere close to advancing, but we're going to have to repair the front end of that race car. We're looking at the 3-time winner, James Qualls. 12th right now for him, just outside of the Fast 10 at a 24.228. Nick Gunther is no longer in the Fast 10. He just got displaced a couple of laps ago by the Davey Allison throwback. Caleb Fogler, former champion, now up to 10th place and setting the benchmark at a 24.218 for anybody that wants to advance into the Fast 10 to run for the pole position. We saw Caleb Fogler run this throwback back at Darlington, bringing it back here at another historic racetrack in Rockingham. paint scheme no matter where we see it, but of course driving the legendary number 28 seems appropriate for him to be the one to feature the Davey Allison throwback there. It's like Casey Hoyt for the third straight week is not going to be advancing into the Fast 10 after starting the front row the last 2 starts. Right now he's 18th on the board, right behind 3-time winner Connor Breton. A couple of these 3-time winners here nose to tail. Casey Hoyt, of course, 3-time winner as well. Breton currently 33rd on the board. Casey Hoyt 18th. Anthony McCurry in the Mazda. His teammate just got knocked out of the Fast 10. Anthony not really up there on the speed charts. 40th is where he's at right now. There's Will Goss, 2-time winner. 21st on the speed charts. As we check in on our battle for the rookie points, Will Goss made up a little bit of ground on Casey Hoyt last week. 14 points separation, Casey Hoyt over Will Goss, with only 2 races remaining. So Casey Hoyt would have to finish way, way, way down in the points or in the running order for the next 2 weeks for Will Goss to have a chance at the Rookie of the Year honors. So Casey Hoyt may have that all wrapped up before we get to the finale next week at Michigan, which of course, remember, that is a doubleheader. We'll be deciding the Duracell Ultra Light Series Championship on Saturday and the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series Championship on Sunday. Well, it looks like it's going to be the non-charter driver Reggie Fogelman who will be the fastest here in round 1. Cody Lamas right behind him, going to clock in second. Reggie Fogelman with a 24.124 as he'll head for pit road, and that is going to conclude this first session. Looks like only one playoff driver again is going to advance into the Fast 10. This has been the case in the last 2 weeks, but it's been Casey Hoyt that's been the playoff driver this week. It looks like it's going to be Jessica Shelton, the only playoff contender that will advance into the Fast 10 to run for the pole. As Reggie Fogelman's Toyota, Cody Lamas' Chevrolet, and Jose Mills' Ford, the 3 fastest lap times here in round 1. Carson Gum will advance in the Fast 10 for the second straight week. Destin Bolin, looking for his first win of the season, clocks in 5th. Zachary Fitzwater in 6th, 7th for Kyle Matthews. Rob Evans, Jessica Shelton, and Caleb Fogler going to be the 10 drivers that will run for the pole position. A couple of Fords out of Blue Oval Automotive, a couple of Chevrys out of Evans Motorsports, and a couple of, well, I can't say the same manufacturer, a Chevrolet and a Dodge, I guess I could say, out of S3 Motorsports. Increasing the chances for those organizations to maybe capture the pole position here this weekend. Let's see where the rest of our playoff contenders are going to roll off the grid. Casey Hoyt will be 18th. Matthew Rodriguez 23rd. Zach Rogers 25th. And then you go further down the board. 30th place is where you find Dylan Poteet, Reese Banks, Ryan Butcher, Jesse Turner, all clumped together there. 36th, 37th, and 38th position. They will all start pretty deep in the field, but again, as stated, last year, Kyle Matthews ended up winning this race from the 35th starting position, so track position may not necessarily be important, but no 2 Rockingham races are ever the same. Kyle Matthews is going to be advancing into this round of 10 to run for the pole position along with 9 other competitors. We'll see in just a moment who's going to be leading the field to green tomorrow afternoon, round 2 of qualifying. The final round coming up in just a moment, right after this race break. Thank you for tuning in to today's broadcast on NNSCRA TV. If you enjoyed your watching, it would help us out a lot if you'd hit that like button. Also, if you're not already, be sure to subscribe to become a part of the NNSCRA crew today. And if you're on your phone, be sure to click that bell to be notified whenever we have a broadcast here on NNSCRA TV. Once again, we thank you for your support, and we hope you continue to enjoy today's broadcast. Final round of qualifying ready to be run here from the Rockingham Speedway. Our Fast 10 advancing into this final round to try and start from the inside, the outside of the front row. All 10 know they'll at least start in the first 5 rows for tomorrow afternoon's penultimate race of the season. 9 non-playoff contenders and only 1 playoff driver advancing here into the Fast 10. That's been a streak that's gone on for 3 races. Casey Hoyt was the only playoff contender to advance into the Fast 10 at both Boston and Daytona. Jessica Shelton, the only playoff contender to advance here into the Fast 10 at Rockingham. Remember, she is one of 3 drivers in, theoretically, a must-win situation for tomorrow afternoon. Now, Reggie Fogelman, he was top of the board in round 1 at a 24.124, and he's the first one out here in the second round of qualifying. We run down the list to see who's running for what number pole position. Jessica Shelton, she's looking for her first pole on the season. Rob Evans, he's looking for his third. Destin Bolin looking for his first. Caleb Fogler looking for his first. Jose Mills is looking for his third. Carson Gum for his second. Cody Lamas for his second. Zachary Fitzwater for his first. Reggie Fogelman for his second pole position. And I believe that is, oh, nope, and Kyle Matthews, who is running for his first pole. So about, what was that, 4 or 5 drivers that are looking for their first pole on the season? Might be able to get it here this afternoon at Rockingham. Times of clocking in here. Reggie Fogelman at a 25.011. That's already been beaten by 3 drivers as we wait for more times to start clocking in. Cody Lamas was third, now fourth at a 24.948. Jessica Shelton just now coming around to complete her first lap. Oh, it looks like she's actually just taken the green. Did not complete her lap yet. Top of the board right now, 24.403 would be Destin Bolin, getting maybe a little bit of draft off the back of the 9D Creative Chevrolet of Rob Evans. Got to get those lap times in early. We saw the longer that the session ran back in round 1, those tires wore down and the lap times really tapered off. Only Caleb Vogler was really able to improve up into the Fast 10 and eventually ended up besting Nick Gunther to get the final transfer spot. Destin Bolin improved his lap time, still top of the board, 24.223. No improvement that time there. Jose Mills right now 8th at a 24.725. Carson Gum pulling up the back bumper of Zachary Fitzwater here as he is currently the slowest, 10th place at a 24.785. Probably will improve as Zachary Fitzwater is 4th at a 24.586. Let's see about this lap time here for Carson Gum. Is running in somebody's draft all the way around the racetrack going to help him out? And yes, it does. 24.398. Moves him up to second on the board behind Destin Bolin. So Carson Gum looking for his second straight week of starting on the front row. Caleb Fogler, who was 10th in round 1, right now 8th in round 2, 24.575. Reggie Fogelman, who was the fastest, is right now last, 24.651 for him. Kyle Matthews is third on the board at a 24.326. Lamas has dropped down to 7th. Jessica Shelton right now in 8th at a 24.498 and improves there with a little bit of 8 of the draft off the back, up to 5th for Jessica Shelton, 24.396. Destin Bolin right behind her, and right now Rob Evans has jumped up to 3rd place, displacing out, would that be Carson Gum, I believe. Kyle Matthews up to a 24.264 to 2nd. Evans in 3rd at a 24.3 flat. Fitzwater in 4th, and Carson Gum now moves to 4th, dropping Fitzwater down to 5th, 24.359 for Carson Gum. Looks like Shelton might be coming to pit lane here, 6th on the board. 0's on the clock anyway, so not a whole lot of time to be able to improve your lap. So 24.107. That is the fastest lap time the whole weekend. And it'll be set by the Kellogg's Ford Mustang out of Young Motorsports, Destin Bolin, who's still looking for his first win on the season. Was a 3-time winner as a rookie last year. Got eliminated from the playoffs after the first round, the round of 17. It looks like he and Kyle Matthews will end up being the front row for tomorrow afternoon's race. Kyle Matthews, the defending winner of this event 1 season ago. Destin Bolin looking to give Young Motorsports their second victory in 3 weeks. Of course, RJ Bishop a couple of weeks ago winning at Boston. And there you have it. Session is complete. And it will officially be Destin Bolin that will be leading us to the green tomorrow afternoon here at Rockingham. Kyle Matthews will share the front row with him. Rob Evans and Carson Gum will be making up row number 2. And Zachary Fitzwater will be 5th, so it looks like Chevrolet's pretty strong here in the final round of qualifying. 4 of them inside of the top 5. Jessica Shelton's Dodge will roll off from 6th, so she will have quite a bit of good starting track position over the rest of her other 7 playoff contenders. Caleb Fogler in 7th alongside Cody Lamas in row 4, and then Jose Mills, who was 3rd fastest in round 1, and Reggie Fogelman, who was the fastest. Kind of ironic, your 3 fastest cars from round 1 were your 3 slowest cars here in round 2 with Lamas, Mills, and Fogelman. Fogelman was the fastest in round 1, and he'll roll off from the 10th position. But that's going to do it here for qualifying from the North Carolina Speedway. Tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are back here at The Rock, getting ready for the race that will set us up into knowing who the final 4 will be to compete for the championship in our championship doubleheader weekend next week at Michigan. Be sure to join us tomorrow afternoon. Should be a good one here at this historic racetrack. And until then, you guys enjoyed this qualifying session. And we'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV. Offline racing at its best.